Morten, Heimdal is launching our latest in a long line of impressive products, PASM. So firstly, what is PASM and why does it matter?
Yeah, I think let's do a definition first. So PASM is in the PAM space, and the reason, of course, we're focusing here is that that's a high growing vertical, something we want to be market leading in, and we're bringing this platform into the PASM space, which is then privileged account and session management. And I think depending on who you ask, you might get a little bit different response as to what's important in PASM for them. But I think at least for me, when I look at it at our customer base and partner base, what's really important here is that partners and customers can manage their environments, especially with what is called just in time. So allocating rights just in time to users just when you need them. And when you don't need them, you do not have any administrative accounts on your server
Mhm.
estate. So I think that's a critical thing. And then, of course, there's the compliance piece, which is the SM part, the session management. So you can record everything that's going on. All of that is stored, and you can see what's happened afterwards in those sessions that you launched as well. So really interesting product, great fit, kind of in the mid and upper segments of the market. I think pretty critical tool for MSPs.
And you mentioned just-in-time access there. Could you just explain a little bit more about what that is and what it involves? Because I know it's pretty critical to what we're doing here.
Yeah, there's a couple of variations of that in the market, but just-in-time access for us means that you can just in time, right when you need it, basically create an administrative user on a particular server. Then that session will start, and you can connect to that server. Once you log out again, the user will be deleted, hence removing all the risk of breach on a server like that due to credential breach. So that's a really neat feature. There are slight variations of that, some also time limited, etc. But in my view, just in time is what just in time is. You create the user when you need it, and when you don't need it anymore, it's gone, which fixes the security and compliance risk.
And if I'm, say, this is outside of just-in-time access, back to the wider PASM product. If I'm a customer or a prospect and I really want to see what's the thing that I will love the most about PASM, what do you think that would be?
Yeah, I think we need to remember here the background, the history and the background. You can say of what did PASM spring out from was the need to reduce security risk on large server estates. And that's really what it fixes for you. It completely fixes the security problem around having to manage and rotate passwords, having to manage and rotate users or delete users when they're no longer in use. Also, then hence making compliance a lot easier. So the real need for it is coming from this kind of drive to constantly clean up your IT environment. So if you go back legacy time, way back Windows 2000 and kind of spinning up to the later server versions 2008 and 2012, estates just grew and customers just needed to clean out all these administrative users that grew over time. And this is a great tool for that. You don't need to think about it. It just does it for you. You connect to the tool, you launch the session, it creates the user, deletes the user, fixes a compliance issue, and provides you a global connectivity platform at the same time, basically.
And our wider suite is suited for managed service providers. How would they benefit from not only PASM, but from the wider suite?
Yeah, so this is where I think the dynamic becomes really interesting with Heimdal. So if I look at this and I take the traditional view, so today you have a couple of really nice point leadership vendors. Clearly, CyberArk will be one of them in this vertical. What is going to happen, in my view, is that Heimdal having the widest platform with a quite unique offering there. So offering anything from DNS security to patch management to email security, antivirus, etc. When you then give this kind of opportunity access to both customers but also to MSPs, you get to a point where why would they be using CyberArk? And I think that is what is going to happen here is people will stop using these traditional point leadership products and they'll start putting everything into a platform which can innovate the way they work. They don't need to log into multiple systems. once again reducing the security risk, you can say, of having to manage multiple logins, multiple systems, and you get to use it a lot more. I mean, it's like getting in your car. If you got 10 different cars, clearly, I mean, you're only going to be using one of them every day, maximum two probably. So what you want to do is you want to have all those components of all those cars in one place, so you can get the maximum output of all of that every time. So imagine when you wanted your Rolls Royce, you can convert your BMW to a Rolls Royce right there on the road. That's exactly the opportunity we're giving customers here. Is you get what you want when you need it because it's all in one platform, and that will be quite transformational, because when you need it, exactly to the point of PASM, we're going to be giving it to you. So you can log into one platform, do everything from there. That's going to be a change driver.
What I was going to ask you, the PAM market's projected to grow from 2.9 billion in 2023, so last year, to 7.7 billion by 2028. I was going to ask you why the market is growing so much, but I feel like you just encapsulated that pretty well there.
Yeah, I think there's I think we touched on it a bit, but I think there are multiple factors around it as well. So clearly there's the compliance point. Customers need to fix the compliance issue. You need to clean up your estate. You need to improve your security by removing administrative users, and that drives the growth in that market. But then you have kind of macroeconomic or macro factors like war in Russia, increased attacks coming in. You want less headache, better sleeping nights, and this kind of tool gives you all of that. But then that flows very well in stream with the whole platform thinking, because then again it makes your life easier. There's less overhead, so it really flows naturally into that kind of platform thinking as well, which I really think we're on the right track with. So this is going to be a really interesting kind of accelerator to the platform view for sure, and hence why the market is also growing.
And so with PASM being our big launch of the first half of 2024, what can our customers and people that are interested in Heimdal right now look forward to going forward?
Yeah, so the next really interesting one in my book, there's a lot of releases coming out all the time, of course. So continuous upgrades coming to the platform. I hope and believe that every single partner and customer in our ecosystem will say that Heimdal has been the most transformational platform in the cybersecurity market the last 10 years. Because again, today we have the widest platform of anybody. But the next one coming up, which I'm really looking forward to, is the ability to, in our threat hunting and action center platform, track where users are logging in from, get the aggregated risk score by user login. That will also drive a big change. We already see a big demand for that, both for mid-market customers and MSPs. Clearly, with the move to more cloud usage, work from home, there's a driver to monitor the risk of the user. So bridging then that, which is what we're going to be bringing with our existing security email fraud offerings. So you can both see the user risk, but then also the profile of what they're exposed to tied to that user. I think that's going to be another transformational set, and again, flowing really well into the platform thinking, because the way you then have that experience as both the MSP and the end user is going to be radically changing the way you view your risk, because then you have multiple views forming that risk. One could be the device, another one could be the user, and those are not always aligned. Clearly, I use my mobile phone a lot when I travel. Don't necessarily always bring up the laptop, so you can have scenarios where a laptop might last have been used in Denmark in my case, but I'm currently in the UK. So why is somebody logging into my account from Bangkok? That will certainly be transformational to be able to see as well.
Great. That's everything. So April 9th, which is Tuesday next week, if you're watching this before that date. Otherwise, it's available now. So what would the call to action be for anyone that wants to reach out and investigate this product for their business?
Yeah, I mean, go to the website, take a trial, or reach out to your customer success manager and get a trial. I think for those that will be watching this maybe later on and hence be looking at from a new customer standpoint, I think what you should be considering is certainly that, again, if you look at the vast suite of Heimdal, the opportunity it gives you for consolidation, unification and hence reducing your overhead of estates. This tool is just another key pillar in kind of making your estate function much more smoothly. So if this is the product you're looking at, just bear in mind that there's so much more to it as you kind of embark on this journey of unification with Heimdal.